Hey kids, welcome back to another episode of Old Man Plays CFL Fantasy. Not a great week for me. Not terrible. I had 106 point something, but I got schooled by Trey Colbeck of the Canadian Football Countdown. He had 145 or something. So I'm falling. I'm currently sitting in 8th, which is the last playoff spot. So I'm going to have to up my game this next couple of weeks here. Anyway, I did learn a lesson from Trey. Once the games are over, you can go look at the other people's teams. I went and looked at him, and yeah, he's good. There's a reason he's one of the ones up at the very top of it. He plays fantasy, and he plays with players that may not be on winning teams and may not seem like superstars, but they get good fantasy points. He took Crum last week. Crum lost the game, but had, I think, at least twice the points that I got out of Bo. So I'm going to try and take that going forward. Look at not just who are the best stars out there, but who are the best ones. Keep in mind that I'm playing fantasy here. So overall this week, we're looking at a couple of different things here. Let's go through the games, tell you what I think, and maybe go from there. One thing I will say, there's a veritable plethora of cheap running backs to pick from this week. So we'll have to see there. I'll go through them as we get to the game. So first game, Montreal at Toronto. Jared Daigie's playing for Toronto. So I don't know. Do you take a chance on Herslow? I'll see what he costs. He's been scoring lots of touchdowns, but that was with Arbuckle in there. Daigie, I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from Toronto. Montreal, Tyson Philpott's there. Will he have the same kind of game when he's playing against someone who's actually played corner in the CFL before? I don't know. Maybe. Could look at what MBT is on cost. He might be one worthwhile. And there's one of the cheap running backs. We'll have to see what the cost is on Stevie Scott III, but he's in because Tice is now out and Erlington is out. So that's where I'm considering there. The next game, BC at Calgary. Well, that BC defense is usually pretty good to go up against in fantasy. So I'm thinking maybe for the first time I take VA. I know he's had rough games the last two out, but he'll bounce back. He's got something to play for against BC. So I think I'm going with him. And then we'll have to see who I pair him up with. That's a questionable sort of thing as well. We'll have to check out what some of the prices there look like. Could team him up. Brooks has been coming along quite well, so he might be a chance. Maybe Alfred, but he does spread it around, so we'll have to see. I don't think I'm going to pay big money for a receiver with him. I think I'll go for team him up with somebody a little bit cheaper and hope I hit something right. And on the BC side, well, that's another cheap running back for you, Horvath. I'm guessing he'll come in at $2,500. He's starting a game. Buck Pierce likes to run the ball. That Calgary defense has Arimolade out. How much will that hurt their running game? I don't know. Hutchinson is back in, so that's going to help them. But I think that Horvath there might be a good choice. Other than that, maybe Hatcher. He usually performs well. But I don't want to take Nathan up against that Calgary defense. They are fierce, and they've got Adrian Green back. So that's going to help them out. So I think the running back's the only one I'm considering there. We move on to Winnipeg at Ottawa. And surprise, surprise, Winnipeg is the one depth chart that isn't out when it's supposed to be. So I have to go off of their injury reports. And as we heard this week, Coach O'Shea would rather not tell anything about any players' injuries. He feels it's invading their privacy. I don't get that. So, hard to say, but they do list Zach as questionable. They say Stearns is questionable, Jamel Parker, and Michael Griffin. So, for them, I take questionable to probably mean out. And I think I will stay away from anyone there other than, well, maybe Nick Dembski, because he's the one that does get consistent usage there for them. The other side of the ball, Ottawa, well, Daniel Adamaboye is starting. He won't be quite as cheap, but against that Winnipeg defense, he may get some nice run yardage. I think I'm going to probably look at going that way with it. Other than that, not too many. Hardy is probably your best bet. He's averaging a touchdown every 2 games and about 5 receptions and 70 yards, and you don't have to throw to him a lot. He catches just about everything that goes towards him. So yeah, I think I might consider going with Hardy, again, depending on price. And then that takes us to the last game of the week, where we've got Edmonton at Hamilton. With Edmonton, Mechie and Anderson are both out on the defense, which makes that Hamilton offense very tempting. But how much are they going to run with Bell? They haven't been a pass-happy team lately, so I'm a little bit concerned there. On the Edmonton side, yeah, Rankin's always a good choice, but I think I'm going to go for cheaper running backs this week and try and spend some on the higher-priced receivers and whatnot. Hilaire has been very good, and he's coming on quite nicely with the team since they've been put in. Other than that, well, Hamilton, like I said, they're contrary to what we said on the show on earlier this week. Katsantonis is in and playing, so that definitely pushed me to pick Hamilton for the pick'em for that. And on that side, of course, Lawler's always great. So if you can afford him, maybe I'll see if I can go to him this week and see what happens. He usually picks up some pretty good points. It looks like he's up against Ross, who's not bad, but not necessarily the best. He's not going to be taken on forward, so I like that. So that's sort of the basics of the games this week. Where are we going to go? I don't know. Let's fire up, pick them on the old computer here, and see what we put together for a team. I said I wanted to go with some cheap running backs to start with here. So here's my running backs, and I want to check out, first of all, Ottawa for Adamaboye. See what he's at. He's at 5'3", and he'll probably get the majority of the carries, and he's a dang good running back. So against that Winnipeg defense, I think he's good. The other running back for me this week is going to be a toss-up between Montreal with Stevie Scott. So let's see what he costs here. $3,000, and with BC for Horvath in there. And Horvath is 2.5. He's up against a tougher defense, but Buck Pierce likes to run the ball a lot more than Jason Moss does. So I think I'm going with him. That sounds good. Then I said I wanted to go with VA as my quarterback. I think that's still true. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's expensive. Nathan Rourke is projected the most points, but I don't know they're taking into account that Calgary defense, because they also showed Dustin Crum as projected second most points at 20, and he's not even playing. Drew Brown is back in, so I don't think so. And Bo Levi, yeah, I don't know. VA's they're all 15, other than probably, if you really want to take a flyer on McLeod Bethel Thompson, he's probably down here somewhere, yeah, at 10. Drew Brown is 12, so that might be something good. I don't know. I think I'm going to, and then, of course, somewhere down here is also going to be Jared Dagey, who's probably like 2.5 or something, but I'm not even going to take that chance. So, where did you go? VA right there. So we're locking you in. And then we're going to team you up with a Calgary wide receiver. So who do we like there for those? Well, Rhymes is 11-2, and he's projected at, none of them are projected at high points because, again, VA spreads it around so much. But I like Brooks. He's been looking good. Barnes might be worthwhile, but it's hard to say. Again, who are they going to get there? So I'll take the flyer on Brooks and see. And then the other wide receiver, I really would, because I'm spending so little on the running backs, I can probably get Kenny Lawler. And yes, I can. At 14.5. That's interesting. Anyway, that's slightly better price. So that means in my flex, I can take pretty much whoever I want here. Let's see who comes up and who's looking fairly good. Well, Herslow, yes, but with Dagey in there, will it still work? I don't know, and that Montreal defense is good. So Justin Rankin, I like better. There's also Philpott, but he blew up last week because he was playing against somebody who's never played corner in the CFL. This week, as much as Toronto's corners aren't the very best, I think he does not so well. So I'm going with Justin Rankin there. And then defense, that lets me do who I want here. Saskatchewan's not playing. Calgary is 8-4, and I've got 8.7 left, so I can take the top defense. I like that. So Mike Vernon, the captain. There we go. And so this is my team for this week. Calgary Stampeders defense. Vernon Adams as my quarterback and captain from Calgary. 2 cheaper running backs. Daniel Adamboy from Ottawa, who's getting the start and is only about 5.5, and Horvath out of BC, who's getting his first start, and it's only 2.5. Even if he gets 5 points, so like if he gets 50 yards or a couple of catches and 20 yards, he's gonna pay for himself, and it lets me put other people out here. So I like that. Eric Brooks, wide receiver from Calgary, he's been doing better and better every week, and I think he is a good person to team up with VA. And then Kenny Lawler is usually up right there with the points leaders, and Justin Rankin. Let's hope that against that Hamilton defense, he has a big game. That's it. Locked in. All right. Let's hope that works. Like I said, I'm up against Argos Fancast, who are also above me in the standings. So, wish me luck. That's about all that I've got. As usual, the normal disclaimer. Them's my picks. Use them at your own peril, because who knows what the week will be. Thank you for checking us out. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube and on podcatchers. Even if you only use one, you help the show by subscribing on both. And subscribe to us, the main show, the CFL Outsiders. That's been taken off some. You can find us on Instagram there for some of our little clip outs and whatnot. Give that a try. Get a quick feel for what we talk about and whether you like to subscribe there or not. And please leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. All that stuff helps. We're trying to grow this channel, and we sure do appreciate the help that you give us. But that's about all for this week. Until next week, Old Man signing off.